This is M250 TV. Tugiye gutembera kuri minubumwe. I'm with
Pauline,
Teta,
Adelaide,
Steven. Ubu ngubu twaje muri Minisiteri y'Ubumwe n'Inshingano Mboneragihugu. Tugiye gutembera, tugiye kuganira, tugiye kunguka byinshi nk'uko bisanzwe tugenda tubagezaho ibintu bigiye bitandukanye, tugaruka ku buzima bwo mu mutwe ndetse n'ubundi buzima muri rusange bw'Abanyarwanda, imibanire n'imibereho myiza. Turaza kubana ntimugitiye, turabakunda cyane. This is my team. Hi. Yes. Big team. Hello, how are you? How are you feeling here in Minubumwe?
In our second session, talking about social democracy and governance, but also genocide prevention, because actually we are in this month and it's active month that have to come to Kwibuka. So we found that very important to engaged in amateka cyane cyane arebana na genocide byabaye, ariko noneho kuyavamo n'umwe iyo nzira yose yo kuva muri ayo mateka twumva ari ingenzi ko muri iki gihe igihugu yacu nayo yakumva ayakora kuri iyo nyigo. That's why I thought ko twasaba ko umwe atwakira nka minisiteri ifite inshingano cyane cyane kubaka ubumwe bw'Abanyarwanda kuko kubaka ishingiro tunateka. So twavuga tuti twe twabyigisha wenda ubwacu cyangwa tugahamagara n'abandi bantu, ariko this is the right institution. Bagiye none bakaga practically what is happening, what is the Minubumwe doing, why is it there, what is it doing, what can it tell to the young people, for example, here. We hear now brainstorming the topic to what is the role of young people, for example, to prevent genocide, but also to prevent genocide ideology, for example. Yeah, because but it's the good moment if you can meet with the people, from officials from Minubumwe, to tell the people, the young people. So that's why we are here, and we are happy that you accepted our invitation. We thought you are busy, we thought now to us that you are in the appointment, but we are so lucky that you accepted us to come. Yes. And we thank you so much for accepting and honoring us in the institution. And we look forward to hearing from you. It will not take a lot of time, just 1 hour or even below that is fine. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kanaka. My name is Paul Robert. I'm the Director General of Communication in this Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Minubumwe. I know Minubumwe is the only ministry that has a Kinyarwanda name in its name. And there's a reason for that. It's because Ubumwe, unity, that's the foundation of everything that we have achieved over the last 30 years. So I'm the Director of Communication, General Communication. Honorable Minister has delegated me to receive you because we, as you said, so the intensity of Kwibuka has a little bit diminished, but we are still have other activities of Kuvuka throughout the country, in the districts. So, for example, tomorrow, Sunday, we have Bibuka in southern part of the country. As you know, the genocide there happened around this time with the famous speech of the President Kambanda, President Sindiko Ngabo and his Prime Minister Kambanda, encouraging the Hutu people to murder their fellow Tutsi with this euphemism, ukora, to work, to kill. So Minubumwe, I don't know if how many of you know about Minubumwe, how it was created and why. How can you use? No? Okay. So Minubumwe is a ministry that was created in 2021, and with the law, I think in July, but it began operating in October 2021. It inherited the mission and responsibilities of 4 formal institutions, including the FARC, Faute d'Assistance pour les Rescapés du Génocide, Itorero, it was another institution, NERC, National Unity and Reconciliation Commission, and Synergie, Commission nationale de lutte contre le génocide. So it was done so because the efforts were scattered. So it was a lot of efforts, a lot of resources, and doing almost the same thing. So that's why the government, the president of the republic decided to create that ministry and then give it power, the necessary power to operate, to fulfill that mission of reinforcing the national unity of Rwandans first. Second, preserving the memory. Third, also promoting civic engagement, civic education of Rwandan youth. Where you see Itorero again. And you will see all those responsibilities, for example, FARC that used to oversee the supporting of survivors. Now we have a department of national unity and community resilience. You can say that has replaced FARC. You can see research department. So actually we have 4 main departments. We have the departments of research and policy development that does all the research, publishes monographies about the genocide, encourages institutions, private and public institutions to publish about the genocide, but also creating policy around our mission and responsibilities. So we have the second department that is, I mentioned it, national unity and community resilience. That's there to help, to support the survivors, vulnerable survivors, giving shelter, school fees, direct support for those who are really the elderly that are not able to work anymore. Healthcare, to have a lot of people because of the wounds, psychological and bodily wounds of the genocide, of people who have cancer, who have other incurable diseases that we support. We have the third department that is Itorero and promotion of culture. We have the fourth is the Department of Memory and Genocide Prevention. that department has a lot to do. You can understand in these times of kwibuka, overseeing the maintenance of genocide memorials here in Rwanda, but also abroad, where we have memorials. As you may know, we have a lot of countries that are creating memorials to honor the victims of the genocide against the Tutsi. So that are 4 departments we have. We have also the department that I work in, the communication, that is cross-cutting, making sure that the program and activities of the ministry are disseminated, are known through social media, through in the media. Also, we interact with the journalists, because there's a lot of journalists, a lot of filmmakers requesting permission, for example, to create film documentaries, movies, fictional, but also they want to interact with our beneficiaries. For example, visiting the homes in NZE. We have a certain category of survivors whom they don't have anyone left in their families except themselves. You know, people used to call them inshuti. Inshuti is someone who survived alone in the nucleus family. But the name has changed, a dignified name in Mwaza, with the support of Her Excellency First Lady, to help them living in homes that Minubumwe also is catering for them. So our mission also, we put emphasis on educating the youth. And as you mentioned, you're teaching the youth. We organizing itorero throughout the year. We have itorero, we have urugerero. Urugerero is another people who are finishing the senior 6. They attend urugerero, where they learned about the values, patriotism, the values of work, the values of unity, but also they learn history, because genocide it's something that did not happen overnight. Genocide is something that is prepared. It's something that requires resources from government, from institutions. So we have to learn the genesis of the genocide, the build up to the genocide, the division, the hate, all those elements that make up the genocide, that lead to genocide. So we have to make sure that the youth are aware. It's like a campaign. We have to make sure that they are known, so that no other people, no strangers are coming to teach other alternative truths, if I may say. As you know, social media now, even academia, they are promoting genocide denial. So it's our mission, it's our obligation to teach our youth. Because if the youth doesn't learn the truth, it's likely that they might take the same path that is leading to mass atrocities and genocide. So that's what I can tell about our mission. So we are I think we are almost 3 years old, the ministry, but I can say we have achieved a lot. And recently we have organized successfully, I can say, and then you can be the witnesses of that. You can organize the Kwibuka 30 on the national level, of course, in partnership with the other institutions, and a lot of youth were involved in the organization of KUVUGANA, and you have seen that we have invited a lot of you from different parts of the country. Yeah, that's what I can say about the ministry. I don't know if you also wanted to hear because before the ministry there's a lot that has been done in terms of unity, reconciliation, and the resilience of Rwandans. So you may notice that I'm using the word resilience, and you might ask yourselves why I am mentioning the resilience. Because even today we say unity and resilience. In reconciliation, yes, we have, because more than 65% of the population are the youth under 30 years old, according to the last census. The reason why we say resilience is reconciliation seems not to be concerning really that population. Why? Because if you ask someone who is 30 years old, he or she may ask, who am I reconciling to? Because the atrocities that were committed are not concerning me. But we are aware, we are conscious that the wounds of the past also affect the youth. That's why we emphasize the resilience word, because we need a society, in one way or another, the youth, whatever background you are coming from, either survivors, children of perpetrators, or children who don't know their origin. They don't know their parents because we have them. Children who come from parents who were raped during genocide. Children who have their parents who were living in refugee camps, in countries of refuge before 1994. So all those youth, they need to really know the history, what their background, the reason why their background is there for them to live in that society. And that's why we need also to have a resilient society. That's why we emphasize resilience. So over the 30 years, the government of Rwanda, right after the genocide, the first efforts were put on unity of Rwandans, because the unity, really the destruction of unity, that's what led to genocide. So you can see even in the action, the first actions was to reconcile on a national level. Youth should know that right after the genocide, the former government forces who had not committed genocide were allowed to come back and then merge with the former RPF rebels, because the RPF said we need to build a new country. Someone who did not participate in genocidal crimes should participate in rebuilding the country, because they have an idea, because they have stood out for the umunyarwanda and umunyarwanda, for the Rwandan values, because they did not participate in hate and killing. On military level, on political level, there's this reconciliation. Political parties that did not participate in the genocide were associated with the new rebuilding of the country. There has also been dialogue, national dialogue. In 1998, 99, dialogue that lasted 5 months, where the politics of Rwanda were shaped. That's where actually the Vision 2020 was born, the ideas, because Rwanda started even building based on the Vision 2020, that later became Vision 2050 that we are now. That's where they have started thinking about the new constitution. A new constitution that is barring politics that are based on ethnicity. You know, before the genocide, we had ID cards that were mentioning who is who. So to cross from one district to another, but to show that ID card, to be able to benefit any advantage from the government, considerations were made based on who you are from the ID cards. The ID cards, for information, were created by the Belgian colonial administration. Because, why? Because they were not able to say who is who. Even the physical stereotypes they had established were not enough to say who is who, because they realized that they might make mistakes. And then they rigidified the ethnicity into ID cards, identity cards. That's where what we had as a Tutsi, Hutu, as a mobile social groups that could move from one to another depending on what you have earned, on prestige you have in the society. That stopped. What replaced that was something that was rigid, solid, and very hateful. You are Hutu forever. You are a Tutsi forever. You are Twa forever. No moving from one place to another, like Rwandans, Rwandan society was living on that principle, but it was rigid. Even the Belgians themselves, in their current publications, they admit that their contributed really to build up of the genocide against the Tutsi. So, fast forward after genocide, that ID cards were removed from the civil society, from the life, political, cultural life, and then we promoted umunyamuryango. Even if we still have efforts to do the ideology of self-identifying or identifying the others are not completely removed from the heads, from the minds of the people. But that was the first effort, the first step towards modernity, I would say, from the cheap politics that His Excellency was mentioning, to modernity, to really promoting who we are, a people who's have one culture, one language, everything, same rituals, same culture, same language, same living, where people live mixed up. And then all those policies, removing the ID cards, putting up in institutions that promoting that national unity. You know, NERC was created, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in 1998. But also, why unity? Unity also was part of, even before the genocide, during the negotiation of Arusha between the RPF and the government of Rwanda. Unity was the central part that the RPF was putting forward. That we need unity, we need to remove the ID cards. And then, during the Arusha peace negotiations, it was taken into consideration. And then they said the article, I think the Article 16 of the Arusha peace accords, they say the new government will not have these ID cards, even before that. But today, genocide deniers say, oh, Kagame forced Rwandans to forget about who they are, in terms of Hutu, but it's not here. It's just even before people were aware that these things are introduced by the Belgian colonial administration, as I said, was really harmful, were destructive. That's why we decided to remove from politics. So today, where we are today, so we have really a youth that is conscious, that is aware of what is happening in terms of unity, of what is good, what is bad, because there are a lot of efforts that is being put up so that we learn. But we still have challenges. Challenges are genocide ideology, that's I mentioned, that we see on social media, people who create a trolls account, and then they create also the hate, the genocide ideology that was exported from Rwanda to the region. Now we have a problem with it in eastern of Congo, because 30 years ago, those who committed the genocide were allowed to cross freely into the Congo, creating like another country of their own, where they kept teaching this hateful, and it has yielded results. Results are Rwandans now we have more than 100,000 refugees to Congolese, and they are in their other countries fleeing that ideology, fleeing the killings, the harassment of the people who committed the genocide here, and then they fled there. They were allowed to perpetuate that genocide ideology. That's the problem, and we have also the people who are supporting those people, either in Rwanda, in politicians, or abroad, academicians, in all the journalists. You will see people who are publishing books, promoting fake double genocide theory, and all of that it aims at really stopping the development that we have achieved over 30 years. That's the challenge we have. But the good news is the government is also committed to counter that, to mitigate those challenges. That's why we have this ministry and focusing mostly on youth. That's what I can say in a few words. I welcome your questions. I like that part of questions because that's where you have people to understand really what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you so much.